everyone, and welcome to Time and Money Mastery. We are your co-hosts. I'm Indiana.
And I'm Sam. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our episodes. Now, let's get started.
Well, hello. How is everyone doing today? I personally am A-okay. I just had my lunch, so my tummy's really happy, and I bought some new headphones to record with, which I'm so pumped about because I have the most amazing Rode microphone, which costs like over $200, but I'm using the crappiest, like old school Apple headphones that plug in by the aux cord, and they're just not cutting it for me anymore. So I invested in some nice Authentica over the ear headphones. So I'm hoping that the quality is going to be awesome. But I digress. Let's get on to today's topic, which is all about micro-investing. Micro-investing has become such a hot topic in the last few years, especially the last 6 to 12 months, thanks to the rise of popular apps and more investing education and awareness around micro-investing. So like any type of investment, you have to weigh up for yourself if it's the right option or not. This isn't financial advice. This is purely information, and you need to go away and make your own decision. So what is micro investing? Let's have a little look-see. Right? It's been called, well, I've seen it be called this, I don't know if you've heard, the modern day piggy bank. So where you used to put small change into a piggy bank and then break it open later to make a larger purchase, micro-investing is a little bit like that. So basically, you put away small amounts of money into these apps, and then they pool that money with other investors to make larger investments on your behalf. Then you all get a percentage of the returns. With nearly 80% of millennials not invested into the stock market, more than 40% say they don't feel they have enough money, 34% say they don't know how, and 13% blame student loans. I find this super, super interesting because a large portion of people feel like they don't have enough money to invest, which is crazy because I think it's just a really wide misconception that you have to be wealthy, you have to have a lot of money and education, or you basically have to be a rich white male. So I'm here to tell you, first of all, that is not correct. You can do it. Yes, you are more than capable, and we are going to get you through the journey of how to do this. So there's a lot of misconception around this, and we want to get rid of that. Basically, micro investing allows everyone to participate in the investing game. You're investing small amounts as often or as infrequently as you like, and that slowly starts to build. So I'm pretty sure most minimums are around $5. So as you can see, very, very affordable. Let's run through a couple of the pros and cons of why you might consider micro investing. So on the pro side, you're able to invest small amounts regularly. There's very low minimums, usually $5. There's very, very low or flat fees. So it's often $0 on your first 5,000, and then after 5,000, there's a small percentage. It's a very quick, simple, and easy to use program. Basically, once you've downloaded the app and you've registered and connected a bank account, it's as simple as pressing a button. Anyone can do this, not just the wealthy or the highly educated. You don't need to be like a hedge fund manager. You don't need to be a stockbroker. You just need to have a bit of money and a bit of wit about you. Now, the cons of having micro investing apps include brokerage and management fees. So these are things you need to consider as they will eat into your returns. There are limited account options. So you don't have the same freedom as when you're buying a share. With micro investing, there's already limited options or different sort of accounts that you can invest into. Usually it's ETF bundles that you can participate in, and you can pick sort of lower risk or higher risk accounts. And that's pretty much the extent of the options that you receive. Now, the other thing to consider with the fees and things is investing too little into the app and having high fees can really eat up your returns. So high fees for larger accounts, not for individual stock purchases. So basically, the smaller or the less you invest, the less you're going to see in returns. The more you invest, the more potential you have to see returns. However, if you have a large account, a lot of accounts over 5,000 or the 10,000 amount have quite higher fees, and they're usually percentage based, not flat fees. So this can, again, minimize the amount of money you're actually making. So something to weigh up is that, it's super easy to use. You can start small and get bigger. The fees are low as long as you have a small account. But of course, we want to be aiming towards growing our wealth and building it in our account. So eventually you're going to reach the point where it's maybe not worth holding your money in these micro investing accounts anymore. Once you sort of get to that point, you need to look at the percentage fees and the brokerage amounts, and it might be time to pull out or leave it and stop investing into micro investing and instead buy individual stocks. So that's something to consider as well. Now, if you are interested in trying out some micro investing, I'll run you through a couple of the top favorites in the industry. So first up, you have Spaceship. Now, this is short for Spaceship Voyager. It is a bright purple icon on the App Store. And basically, it has a diversified portfolio, and it has had 53.8% return in the past year, which is phenomenal. That's actually extremely high, very, very, very high and unusual. So that's a really, really good benefit of using Spaceship, is that they've had really good returns in the past year. However, like all investments, past performance is not an indicator of future performance. So just because it's done well in the past 12 months, there's no guarantee that it will continue to do well in the next 12 months. So you need to consider that risk and consider if you're willing to take on that risk when investing in this platform. No fees on this platform under $5,000. So if you're just beginning, there are no fees right up until you hit a $5,000 portfolio. Once you get to the $5,000, you will be charged 0.05% per month, which is actually not too high. Let's do a little calculation. So let's say you've hit the 5,000 and you now have $6,000 in your account, and you're going to be charged 0.05%. That's $300 a month. So you can see how it kind of adds up. $300 a month is quite a bit to be paying in fees. And personally, I probably wouldn't bother paying that once I hit the $5,000. So I would keep it until the 5,000, and then I probably pull it out, because I don't want to be wasting $300 a month that I could be investing and just purely paying for fees. Now, another one is Raise, and you've likely heard of this. This was kind of the go-getter on the in the micro investing world. It used to be called Acorns, which you might be familiar with a few years ago, before they rebranded to Raise, RAIZ. So this one works a little bit different in that it actually has a roundup function. So it rounds up your purchases and invests the difference into one of their stock portfolios. So basically, when you go and make a purchase, say you buy a coffee and it is $3.50, your purchase is going to get rounded up to the nearest dollar, $4, and the difference of 50 cents will be invested into your Raise portfolio, which is pretty cool if you think about it. I have something similar. It's called Wisr, WISR, except it rounds up my purchases and pays them towards debt, which is just my preference. But this is also a really good option with Raise to put all your spare change into this, as well as you can make additional repayments. Of course, you can add extra money on top of your roundups, but it's a really good way to kind of make those small investments regularly that you don't really even notice, like 20 cents here and there, $1 here and there. Yeah, it's really good. With Raise, they have a $2.50 monthly fee under $10,000. So it's it has pros and cons. So it has a $2.50 fee, which is obviously, more than Spaceship. Spaceship had a $0 monthly fee under 5,000, whereas Raise has $2.50 monthly fee under 10,000. And then over $10,000, they have 0.275%, which is a little bit bigger. So let's do the similar calculation. So this one's over 10,000. Let's say you have $11,000 and and you get charged 0.275%. That's $3,025 a year. Wow. Am I doing that right? That almost seems way too high. Let's try that again. 0.275% of 11,000. Okay, there we go. See, my math is tragic. Put it on the calculator. 0.275% of $11,000 is $30.25. Okay, that makes so much more sense, and that's so much more reasonable. But I'm actually not sure if that's per month or per annum. I have a feeling that's per month. So $30.25 in fees per month is still quite considerable when I know that I have other investing platforms that don't charge anything per month. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And again, I think this platform is really good if you're under the minimum. So if you're under the $10,000 and you're paying $2.50, then that's still pretty reasonable. I think once you hit the 10,000 and you start paying 0.275%, it's probably not really worth your time anymore. Now, the third one is CommSec Pocket. And this one is obviously run by Commonwealth Bank. It's got the CommSec in there. Now, this one's a little bit different. They charge per investment. So it's a $2 fee each investment or sale that is valued up to $1,000. So for any time you make a purchase or a sale up to $1,000, you'll charge a $2 flat fee. $2 flat fee does sound pretty low, but I guess if you're considering that the other platforms only charge, $0 or $2.50 a month, if you were making more than one purchase or sale a month, you're spending more than that $2.50 already. Over the $1,000, CommSec will charge you 0.20% of the trade value, but no monthly fee. So while there's no monthly ongoing fee, you are charged $2 per investment and 0.20% of the trade over $1,000. I personally don't think you would really use a micro investing app for purchases over $1,000. So if you're thinking under 1,000, then it might be worth it for a $2 flat fee. But then again, I don't know. If I'm looking at this from my point of view, and your circumstances might be different, you might find one app is more, easy to use, or like you're more familiar with one than the other, or you just have a preference, then it's totally up to you. But if I was looking at this for myself and I was making a purely financial decision, looking purely at the fees and nothing else, I would say that the best option out of these three is actually Spaceship. So if you have less than $5,000 in your Spaceship account, you're going to pay no fees at all. None, nothing. $0 per month, $0 transaction fee. And the last 12 months, they've had a really good run. They've had a 53.8% return, which is monumental. And this is not to say that, it will always stay at this amount and they may introduce fees in the future. But for now, at the time of recording, this is definitely the best option for you. But as you can see, there's a lot of options and there's a lot of pros and cons. I would say, if you're starting out and you just want to get your feet in the water and give it a go, definitely try out micro investing. Also, if you want to make those little roundup amounts, that's a really good way to do it as well. Rather than just blowing that money, you can be investing it into your future. However, I would say once you're more comfortable and you're more familiar and educated on investing and shares and risk tolerance and all that sort of thing, I would recommend moving on to brokerage platforms. rather than micro investing, because I think once you hit those minimum thresholds, it just becomes really expensive. Paying $30 a month, or, what was the other one? It was like, I can't remember, but paying $30 a month or whatever it is, it's really not worth it when brokerage platforms charge you nothing for a monthly fee. So that's just my preference. And this is why I wanted to do a little deep dive into it, because I know people talk about Spaceship and Raise all the time, but I think they don't really think about the medium to long-term impacts of once you do hit that $5,000 minimum or $10,000 for Raise, you're going to be paying some pretty significant monthly fees. And then it's probably time to move on to a bigger and better platform. But yeah, it's a great way to start. And I'm really interested to know how many of you guys are investing and using micro investing as a good way to get started. I find it super interesting that a whopping 80% of us millennials haven't started in the stock market. And 40% of us feel like we don't have enough money. So I hope I proved you wrong. You only need $5 to get started. You don't have to be a rich white male. So that's a wrap. If you loved today's episode, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and let us know why you loved it.
And if you know someone who needs to hear this, then send it their way and share it to your stories, tagging us at Time Money Mastery.
Feel like you're wanting just a little more? Jump on over to our Facebook community. You can find the link in the show notes.
That's all from us today, fam. We'll see you soon.